Hi guys and welcome back. Today's going to be really casual. I just want to do my makeup today and chat with you guys about what's been going on. And yeah, if you want to sort of sit down, have a cup of tea, put your makeup on if you want whilst I do the same thing, please feel free. So I recently had 2 weeks off of work and it's almost finished while I'm recording this now. But yeah, I had one of those colds that turns into a chest infection, and it's actually the first time that I've had a sick note that I had to give into work due to it being so bad. Because basically I've had a cold since 2 weeks before Christmas and it just never really went away. There was a few days or so where it improved, but after that it just got like really bad. So yeah, I just wanted to have a little chat today about where I'm at and discuss sort of New Year goal planning with you guys. And I do want you guys to share in the comments about how your New Year has been so far. But first off, just don't laugh at me. I got the wrong shade of foundation when I went to the Body Shop recently, well, a few months ago, and after opening it I thought, well, they're not gonna take it back, so I'm just sticking with it. And I don't want to wait until summer to use it when I'm a bit more tanned, because it does go out of date, makeup, and I really don't want to risk wasting it. So yeah, please don't laugh at me. This is going to be completely not my colour, but we're just going to roll with it. So I got signed off work. I didn't really know the process. Oh, that sounds funny. I had a really bad cold before Christmas, and then I knew that the symptoms had changed, that it was something completely different, because I started coughing up like green stuff. I'll try not to be too TMI, but I started coughing up stuff which sort of told me that I had an infection of some kind. So I told this to the paramedic guy and he just said basically being at work is not going to help me at all. I don't think anybody realises that. I don't know if you realise this at all, but even when you've got a little cold and you're working, the stress of that work, no matter how small, it does play a part in how long it takes for you to recover. And I never really thought about that. Obviously it's quite obvious when you think about it, but I'm one of those people that's like, okay, well, if I'm taking time off work, then I have to have a reason. Otherwise I just feel guilty. And I did tell my manager this as well, and she was just like, no, it's fine. I've been sort of struggling with feeling motivated, but knowing that I need my body to recover and trying to just rest as much as I can. And somehow I passed whatever it was back to my partner who gave it to me in the first place. So he was off sick this week, and it's just, you know, it's just one of those months where it's really cold outside and you just cannot seem to get rid of a cold lurking in your house. So yeah, that's been my month so far. Do let me know how your month is going so far. I'd like to know what everybody's up to. And if, you know, you guys are sick as well. I know that there's a lot of stuff going around England at the moment, which is of course inevitable at this time of year. So I did release a YouTube short a week ago or so about journal prompts, and one of them was, how are you feeling about 2025 so far? I just sort of want to take a moment and just talk about how I'm feeling about the new year, because obviously it's been shrouded by all of this cold and flu, but I'm feeling very hopeful. I think this year is going to be one of a drastic change, most probably in my career. I've just reached the point where I can't really work in the workplace that I'm currently in, and I hate stagnating. I hate staying in the same place for too long if there are no opportunities there, because I just feel like I could be doing a lot more. And I don't want to sound sort of like big-headed, I'm just being honest, because I know that there is so much more that I could be doing. But yeah, I would like to get a new role, a new job, and I would obviously love to post more on this channel, which I'm going to do. I've been thinking a lot about this recently because of just taking a step back and having the time to just sort of be with myself. And I've just been thinking about how much I talk about and think about self-care, and I don't really practice it. And I've realised that, and I know that working out is really good for you, and eating, you know, loads of veg, fruit is really, really good for your health. But in terms of like my mental health and even my physical health, I don't really give myself time to just relax. I do find myself getting quite impatient lately. I don't know whether that's a result of being in the job that I'm in currently and just being a bit frustrated with that, or I don't know, hormones, because I took 2 packs of pills like that overlapped them. I didn't have a break in between because of Christmas, because who wants to be on their period at Christmas? I don't know, I've been feeling quite agitated, I guess is the right word. I think it's also due to just living in a country that is quite cold and miserable in terms of the weather, and it seems that, or it feels that, the winter season in Britain is just never ending, and it feels like that every single year. Honestly, I swear that's all we talk about. Like, us Brits, we are consumed by the weather. So yeah, going back to the whole idea of self-care, there has to be a way for me to just spend more time by myself and not just sort of watching TV programs or films, but actually like sitting with myself and maybe just journaling more. As much as I try to do that as much as I can, I definitely could do a better job at making it like a daily routine. But yeah, if you're sort of going through the same sort of feelings, maybe you've been ill recently as well, this is going to sound really, really contradictory to what I was just saying, but have some grace, give yourself grace, and don't lay into yourself. Isn't it funny how our whole opinion just changes when we think about what we would say to someone else? Wow, okay. So yeah, instead of, you know, just trying to do it all, give yourself some grace. I feel like this talk is just going into a pile of mush, but honestly, I didn't really have the drive to do anything else. I will be back at it next week for sure, and I'm still so excited to just film different content this year. I haven't just stuck with one thing, and I feel like that is detrimental, or a lot of YouTubers would say, oh, that's really detrimental, you need to stick with one area of expertise or interest, because then you'll attract a certain audience and they will stick with you more. But my interest really is just creating content that I can look back on and just feel like, well, I've recorded my life. That is what this channel is to me. I just want to record little moments in my life that I'm going to look back on and be like, wow, that was when we had our first house, and wow, that was when I was having a really bad time at work. It's a beautiful thing to be able to look back on yourself. Even when I react to albums on this channel, and I've watched some of them back a few times, and even though I know the songs so well now and I know exactly which ones are my favourite on each album, I can look back at these music reactions and just remember how I felt when I listened to that song for the first time, and I get to see that, and I love that. You need a motive, a purpose as to why you're posting content in the first place. And I think a part of the reason why I post these videos is because I'm very passionate about mental health, and I'd like to think that these videos do help people, especially the ones where I talk about mental health and sensitivity. And those videos do tend to do really well, so I feel like they do help people, which again is just another reason why I want to continue this. One thing I have noticed about me recently, and I think it's just been a thing for forever, but I've only just sort of addressed it by Googling it, is that when I go to bed, I just feel really motivated, and I have all these ideas about the channel, or about like recently making a cleaning routine for the house, and it's like all this energy just piles up the moment my head hits the pillow, and it takes me like half an hour to just sort of calm myself down and tell myself, no, like, you need to sleep now, you're not getting up and planning all this stuff right now. And I googled it yesterday, and I found that a lot of people are like this, and when I wake up I don't have that motivation anymore, and that's exactly what I was reading. As a kid, I would have the same kind of routine, but it was a little bit different in that I would go to bed really excited for the next day, like if I was going somewhere or doing something. But now it's manifested in primarily motivation, but also excitement. If I'm doing something really exciting the next day or going somewhere or seeing a friend or whatever, it will manifest in that way, but mainly it is motivation. I don't know if you guys have the same thing, and if you have, like, do you have any tips on how to stop yourself from feeling like that? I don't want to stop myself from being motivated generally, but what do you guys do if you have that kind of feeling before bed? How do you deal with that, and how do you keep that motivation going until morning? Because I can tell you, I had the same thing last night, and I woke up this morning and I felt the exact same way, so not motivated in the slightest. And it's like I have this big list that I wrote yesterday of all these things that I want to do, but I just don't have the drive to do them today. And if anybody else is feeling the same way, please do share. So that's one thing that I've recently realised about myself. Another thing I'd like to work on is not seeing exercise as something I have to do each day. I don't know, I've always viewed exercise as this, like, it's a no-brainer, you have to do it, otherwise I'll just feel rubbish. But I need to start viewing it as me time, I guess. And I could do a whole video on this, which I might actually do, because I know that a lot of girls, a lot of women are probably in the same boat. But it did start when I was in my teenage years. I would view exercise as this thing that it was like the decider of the day. You know, if you get it done, that means you've had a really successful day. If you don't get it done, then you might as well just go to bed. go back to sleep and start all over again. I don't view it as much in that way as I did when I was a teenager. That was a very toxic way to look at it. But it is still a very big consuming thought in my day. So I'm trying to sort of battle that in my head in this new year. I'm healthy as I am, and I do like my body. And I don't know what it is about constantly wanting to improve yourself and your physical appearance by working out. It's the weirdest thing to be obsessed about, like moving your body, because that's naturally what we're made to do anyway. So to fixate on it is crazy. I just don't want to get to 30 and still view life this way. You don't realise it, but when you're a teenager and you become obsessed with these things, it really does affect the way you view things when you get older, which is just really sad. But yeah, let's go to a more positive note. One thing that I really would like to do more of this year and not be as scared or just face my fears is skateboarding, because I do genuinely love the feeling of being on the board, and when I get something for the first time, oh my god, you can't beat that feeling. And yeah, like I've fallen off many times and that's scary, and when the board hits your ankle, man alive, that is painful. But that doesn't take away the feeling you get when you actually ace something. And yeah, it just makes me smile thinking about it. So as soon as the weather gets warmer and drier, that is gonna be my plan. As a kid, I had a skateboard and I didn't really get into it. I just rolled down the garden path. So it's nice that I'm doing something that makes me feel like a kid, but actually doing it right and improving on it. So that is something I'm genuinely looking forward to this year. And it's so far removed from work, and it's such a fun thing to do that you don't think about anything else in the world. I think if you're going to take one thing away from this video, find something that does the same thing that skateboarding does for me. And I think being scared about something is good, because that's a natural distraction as well from everything else going on. And when you set yourself a goal of, you know, getting a certain trick or just being able to stand on the board and not fall off, it just feels so great. I think we just have to remember to not neglect the fun things in life and just use those as a way of letting off steam, because life is just so incredibly stressful and we all need a break from it. And now we just wait for this to dry so I can get rid of the smudges. I honestly just use a makeup brush to get rid of the smudges, and my friend from uni taught me to wait for them to dry. So always wait for your mascara to dry before you get it off. When you try to remove wet mascara from your face, it doesn't really work, and if it does come off, you've taken half of the makeup off in the process. So yeah, wait until it's dry. And that is today's video finished. I couldn't be arsed with lipstick today because I'm not really going anywhere. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. It's just a little bit of fun, having a little chat, having a little chin wag, as we say. I really hope you enjoyed this, and if you want to share anything about your new year so far, then please do so in the comments. But until next time, as ever, take care.